Thank you everyone for being here at my final presentation of my graduation at the Academy of Architecture of Rotterdam. And yeah, that's my introduction. And
yeah, maybe I'll just introduce today and also our committee of today. What we do today is Said presents his presentation. We've seen it a couple of times. The committee of his graduation followed it throughout the year. We have 4 people in the committee, or actually 5 even. Claudio Saccucci, he has his own Studio Vector, is his mentor, followed Said also with mentoring him every couple of weeks, every 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
You saw him discuss your project. Habets also has his own studio and works for RAvB as well. And landscape architect, physician as well, David, as I read in your CV or your about page at some point. To criticize Said's project and help him propel his project throughout the year. Florian de Visser, he followed also Said throughout the year as a mentor as well, mainly focused on the presentation skills and to help him, you have your own studio as well. And Sereh Mandias, amongst other things, writer, lecturer in Delft, TU Delft, teacher at the Academy, and was involved all the way at the end to have a fresh perspective on Said's project and help you with the last step, basically, in the last presentation. And me, Hinke Majoor, used to be a teacher at the Academy and now work in my own studio in another architecture firm. And I follow your project as a foresitter, it's called English. So keeping together the bunch and summarizing the discussions. That's it, I think. And then, so after Said's presentation, there's room for questions from you, from us in the beginning, and from you as well. Then we will stay here. You can go out, or maybe we go to another room. So maybe that's better. We go to another room, and then we come back with the verdict. That's basically the plan today. And then Said, you're graduated probably.
Yeah.
Today. That's the plan. Yeah.
Destruction is where I come from. This is my hometown, Homs, Syria, in 2015. The conflict there transformed familiar spaces in a heap of hopes and disbeliefs. Coming to the Netherlands and starting anew leads me to feel completely removed from my context, as if standing in a void. Integration is what I seek, and what I have been seeking through this project and other projects of mine. Just before having to choose a thesis topic, I visited in Berlin the Forle Foundation, a Nazi bunker from World War II, which was converted into an art space. I just became fascinated by such powerful way of dealing with history, trauma, and space design. Here I made an important discovery. Architecture can help us move through different layers of reality. The void experienced on leaving Syria and the discovery I made in Berlin left me with a profound sensibility for how sites may radically be transformed. This inspired me looking for a potential site for my thesis. In the Netherlands, the Atlantic Wall is one of the most known infrastructures left by the Nazi on Dutch soil. Its bunkers, once emblems of destruction and aggression, now lay hidden in the landscape along the coast. My intention is to reveal them and open them up to dialogue, reflection, and participation. Looking at the coast of the Netherlands, many sites have been occupied by the Nazi. In my research, I came across one that inspired me. It lays at the heart of the metropolitan landscape of the Western Netherlands. The site, Complex R, is located at 2 hours walking distance from Leiden and Den Haag. West of the site sits the National Park Hollandse Duinen. To the east lays the Villa Park Rijksdorp. This national park extends from Hoek van Holland to Katwijk aan Zee. This plan from the Arcadis report of 2017 shows healthy forests in green and less healthy forests in red. My site, Complex R, is a combination of the two. Zooming in, the central area, marked here in red, is less healthy forest. This contradicts the unique status as a park forest. According to the Arcadis report, the essence of a park forest is its open, closed, and cared for space. Furthermore, I discovered that the area is famous for being populated by different types of bats. These bats used some of the bunkers as a hibernation cells during the winter. Going back in time, the site was a land property to some large family in Rijksdorp. A villa once stood on the property, now demolished. The only element is a historical iron gate, now unused and forgotten. In 1942, the Germans built the whole complex, here seen in this map. The architecture of the bunkers has undergone change. The routing between them remains the same. After the war, the Dutch Air Force, or the Koning Luchtmacht, used and modified the German bunkers. They added new ones and named the site Complex R. Today the site is called Bunker Complex Rijksdorp. And now let me show you some pictures of the site so you get an idea about the complex. Hidden right behind the fence of the site, alongside the main road, one may encounter a gate, the original entrance from 1875. I have been able to visit the site in different seasons and weather conditions and see all the bunkers. The old heart of the site, the commando bunker, struck me in terms of position and proportions. Its geometry sticking out of the landscape creates a theatrical gesture. This bunker, together with some others, are not inhabited by bats. On these, my design effort concentrate. Inside, spaces are left behind, untouched and unused. Forgotten activities and obligations all passed away in time. While walking, I discovered how landscape took over, making this place a ruin of the past, a ruin of our own beliefs, a memory of the absurd. I discovered the potential of this landscape to sense the relationship between lightness and horror, chaos and order. As we all know, nature takes over eventually. Nature does not have a human agenda. It seeks a habitat, a place where to stay, to thrive, to multiply, and to eventually die. It creates a habitat out of its own internal growth, and so architecture may come into being out of its own specific place. The heart of the site is composed of thick vegetation in not such a good condition, and does not allow visibility through the site. This area depicts the red area which I mentioned a while ago. Near the historic entrance, opposite to the commando bunker, we find the hospital bunker. The roof is low, emphasizing the sense of being underground, buried. Internal walls are 80 centimeters thick. External ones are about 3 meters thick. This structure was modified by the Dutch Air Force during the Cold War. At the bath bunker, the building keeps original interiors that shows attention to details, like spaces for cleaning and showering of the wounded soldiers. Here ends my impression of the site. My project tries to find an answer to how the past may serve the now. It aims to activate personal engagement instead of showing history as a passive staged image. I would like the site to establish a dialogue between past and present. Spaces of anxiety, spaces of trauma are of all times. I see my project engaging with the collective understanding of this type of space. Most of all, I want to reveal its vital living character that transcends history. The site will become a testing ground where different methodologies, strategies, and ideals will be implemented. A place where human and non-human can meet and coexist. Where life and death are one thing. Where past, present, and future collide. I will now explain how I understood the site and explore the possibilities of its spaces. Then I will go through my design and the tools I used. At the end, I will guide you on a virtual walk through the site. First, I explored the site and I tried to recompose the way the site is experienced by the potential visitor. Through this collage, I tried to recompose the different landscapes, spaces, and ecologies. Through that, I discovered the richness of the topography. I started understanding the qualities of the site as something to preserve and work with. Clarity and simplicity became the main guidelines for my project. I wanted to foster the beauty and spontaneity of the site in relation to its surrounding nature. After collecting materials from the archives, I started redrawing the buildings and sketching out possible scenarios. How to intervene in such conditions? How to operate with such difficult history? I concluded that no new architecture was needed. Everything was in front of me, in the forms of nature, concrete, and layers upon layers of human experiences. I started therefore by removing and liberating the stiff plans from their first layout. I started thinking of ways to integrate light and nature in the buildings, to interlock the hidden inside to the outside. At the same time, I started playing with the atmosphere I wanted to evoke. I started playing around with the ingenuity and randomness of artificial intelligence programs. I processed words and images, spaces and emotions through a cold machine. It started to give me results that I did not expect. This gave me energy and helped me designing the spaces that you are about to see. After the first attempts at defining a strategy, I decided to set in concrete what would become suitable actions for my design. The first one is removal. I believe removal is not just demolition, but an attentive action of analysis, observation, and care. Removal appears at different scales. The bunkers will be opened to allow light and nature to enter. The circular shape of the new cuts helps the visitor to distinguish the newly created narrative from the previous layers of the existing. More than a rectangle, for example, a circular opening helps the imagination of the viewer to restore the wall to its original closed plane. On site, removal means soil will be excavated to reveal architecture. To remove is to reveal. To remove is to eradicate. To remove is to take a position. The second method is replacing. Often material removed will be reused. This rubble will be instrumental in creating new objects and spaces. The third method is to connect. A walk will link the different parts together. The different bunkers and their inner rooms will find a connection with each other and the landscape. The last one is minimal addition. It will enhance the role of the architectonic object. It is perhaps the most invisible of the four. Now let me go over the different parts of my design. My project aims to bring new dynamics to this place. The first design act in my project is to preserve and secure the presence of bats on the site. The bats will keep on living in the bunkers shown in red in this map, where they already nest. Additionally, 2 more bunkers are going to accommodate more bats during winter. When looking at the site in its present configuration, it appears unorganized. The volumes are scattered around the site without a clear hierarchy or orientation. My intention is to create a coherent whole. As a first step, I selected 5 moments in the site and I decided to create a system of walks that holds the site together. The following buildings offer a way of discovering architecture in its natural landscape. They are historical gate, hospital bunker, bath bunker, combat shelter, and commando bunker. Coherence is achieved by exposing and accentuating a new center in the complex. This center coincides with the place in the forest where conditions are not optimal. The first step is to take out trees in the central area. Small trees will be replanted. And this decision may seem dramatic, but it is in line with the proposals by Arcades regarding the health of the site. Together with the trees, some of the soil around the bunkers will be removed. This will allow us to read their hidden geometries, scale, materials, and construction methods. Reflecting on the bunkers and as objects will detach them from their historical significance and give them new meanings. Exposing the concrete will allow water and other elements to interact and to create new ecologies of moss, lichens, and snails. The soil from the various removals will be collected to remodel the central area. This is a strategy to create new morphologies and new experiences in the space. The whole site slopes down from the commando bunker to the hospital bunker. This new topography will allow new perspectives and modify old ones. The new design will create a new rhythm in the site. This rhythm starts at the new entrance next to the historical gate. It receives its further flow and meaning at the hospital bunker. From there, the rhythm flows freely into walks in the landscape. All in all, a rhythm moves the visitor through 3 zones: entrance and the hospital bunker, center and bath bunker, and the northern area where the commando bunker and hill are. Such rhythm is a system that allows the discovery of a specific experiential story that I will now introduce to you. Now that I have explained the landscape, we are going to look at the 5 architectural objects. The first encounter is the historical gate. Presently, the access to the site is located in another area. I want to bring the visitors back through the historical access, but I want people to experience the gate as an always closed element, an obstacle right at the beginning. The hospital bunker is the first encounter with the bunkers on the site. This first station is intended to work as a reset tool for the visitor. The anticipation and the emotions carry the viewer in a new space where materiality, acoustics, light, smell, proportions of space are of a different kind. This building was built around efficiency, speed, and organization. The emotions of a wounded soldier were not part of this scheme. But what is it like to be on the edge of life? What does it feel like to be dying? To go from light to darkness? To be dragged into the narrow, dark alleys of the underground? I was fascinated by personal stories now lost, but they are still there. One can almost feel the warmth, the fear, the thoughts, the panic, and the silence. I want to explore some of these sensations through my design. In the current situation, the bunker presents itself as a closed box, an organized and muted experience. Its flow is arranged on the flow of the hospital efficiency. Each room hosted one specific function and therefore designed around it. I started experimenting with different removal strategies. Removing part of the roof allowed the staging of different effects of dark and light, and more specifically, a structure of horizontal and vertical beams of light. Wall removal serves the construction of a fluid internal walk. It also connects the interior with the exterior. Floor removals serve the accommodation of vegetation and will allow deep cave-like acoustics. Here we see how the creation of the fluid walk consists of 2 elements: the wall removals and the opening and shutting down of the existing doorways. We also see the intended effect of breaking down the solidity of walls. The solidity of the building is further dissolved during the last part of the walk. In the last room, filled with water, the visitor moves over stepping stones. They lead him to a water body outside. All 3 strategies of removal support each other to create a new atmosphere, allowing the visitor to land in the world of his own internal, emotional, and physical knowings. Just like a wounded soldier's emotions are widely amplified or silenced, the visitor's emotions are distorted and altered in this maze of darkness, light, elements, and concrete. The bath bunker is located in the geographical center of the site. After experiencing the reset of the hospital bunker, the visitor has the choice to walk towards the bath building, where parts of the soil has been removed around the building to reveal its geometry. This location is the only one with a clear function. As a transformative heart of the site, the place allows the possibility to have ceremonies, to celebrate life and death together. The ceremonies that I want to host concern the disposing of deceased human and non-human bodies. Instead of cremation, which is not carbon neutral, I propose to use water cremation. It is a new technology that can reduce the body of the deceased into liquid. I want to introduce this program in the heart of the site because I want to challenge the Western taboo of death. Other cultures embrace death as something normal, something that is part of our everyday. In my eyes, rituals of death are not only about the feeling of the deceased, but also about the spiritual development of his loved ones. It is about distancing from one's genetic memory by witnessing the definite dissolution of the physical body. Living bodies and bunkers are the embodiment of their own history, the outcome of an ongoing process of their becomings. This becoming includes their ending. Bunkers have the pretension to be solid and may seem to have an extended lifespan. Yet, their material, presence, and original functions and meanings must in fact be understood as transient in nature, as a human and non-human body. In plan, bodies are brought down over narrow stairs to the chamber below. Once the machine is turned on and the body is positioned inside, the ritual can begin. Aquamation means the machine, using water, heat, and pressure, dissolves the body into brownish, odorous liquid. People sitting in the arena in front of the bunker witness the brownish liquid being released from the escape shaft as part of the ceremony. This escape shaft becomes beacon, a symbol of opposing forces and meanings in the site. To create orientation and marking the importance of such disposition, I extended the escape shaft with a 1 meter extension block using recycled materials from the removals. Here people witness the bath bunker as place once connected to water, to life, to abundance and vitality. It now becomes associated with the deeper reality of the cyclical nature of death. The heart of the site allows the visitor to walk, pause, and to look around. Configuration of crossing paths and seats invites explicitly to reflect on the coexistence of all living inhabitants on the site. The same happened at Bath Crossing, a grove of trees, where concrete blocks taken from the bunkers are scattered around. Wandering further, one encounters the combat shelter. What is supposed to be just a building now becomes a completely different experience. The visitor is confronted with the weight of the bunker, with its scale and inner secrets. A passage is excavated from underneath. The bunker is presented as an abstract form, a gate, a tunnel from light to dark to light again. The path may be moist, muddy. Our steps echo from the bare, exposed concrete. The visitor is now confronted with the idea of absurdity. What is this object doing? What is the meaning of this monolith? What does it feel to be underground? After bathing underneath the compact shelter, we approach the commando bunker from its back, and therefore we don't see or experience its total presence. The bunker appears as a platform. Soil covering the building was removed. Now abstract shapes emerge from it. The platform is a threshold to another reality. As the former military center of operation, this bunker is now a memory, a maze of different stories forgotten in time. Here, messages were once exchanged with different parts of the Reich. When reaching the lower floor, this bunker as the hospital and combat shelter shows its facade intact. Entering, we find a rigid and somewhat symmetrical plan. My first design steps here were to remove the walls of the commander's office. By doing so, I created a new center within the bureaucratic maze, a large circular room with a pierced roof. On two other points in the bunker, parts of the roofs are also pierced to create orientation and direction. The visitor find open doors through which to wander freely in an otherwise rigid planning. The experience of small oppressive rooms contrasts with the light, open and airy circular room. This cylindrical space is a vertical space that connects ground to sky, boundness to freedom, a secret space. In this room, visitors exist together with the sky, the elements, now appropriating the walls and the bunker, the bats, the birds, and the insect, together in one circle. The circular room is constructed by superimposing the drilled circular blocks, each 2 meters long, on the edge of the pierced void. The massive block freed from the center by drilling is positioned on the roof as an outlook post. And now to finish my presentation, let me take you on a virtual walk through my design.
most important technique from Buto is actually to eliminate the sense of time, to take people out of time. But it's so much more than that. It can be spiritual, it can be funny. It starts from human and it transcends being human.
No, yeah, I mean, it will sound like a broken record, but the idea was a very deep, personal process. No, it was really, really something humbling and also very, very special in that we did a lot of progress together, and we also learned how to speak to each other, and also learn how to, understand each other. I think it was a very it was one of the most personal relationships I ever had with a student, and I'm very glad that I said yes to this crazy idea, of course. So, having said that, I was each presentation gets better and better. So don't lose this project and continue to work on this. This will be the start of something. Don't lose it. It's not just a graduation. It's just a way of thinking that we already explored last year together in the studio, and we're basically adding a stone. So I have to continue adding stones or continue taking out stones, whatever you want. I have two questions. One perhaps is a more, they're deep, they're long questions, which you can also answer, I don't know, or you can also answer in a short way. But do we need obstacles in architecture? Do we need obstacles? Like, a lot of your actions are obstacles to the experience of the space, are, let's say, what's the word for it? Inconveniences. Sometimes, you have the action of creating these blockades, you create this sort of almost parkour-like, and what is the meaning of all these actions? Like, we spoke about it, but at the end of this project, like, what are you planning to do? What are those? What type of lessons are you trying to give? Sometimes, like, architects and students in architecture tend to make life difficult for the visitors, almost this sort of sadistic game of prey and predator. But I wonder, like, what are these obstacles in this project? Like, what are you trying to do with these obstacles?
For me, it's one. It is too many things, too complex, of course. But it is one thing that came to my mind now. Is the opening of the field of possibilities. Yeah, it can be everything, of course. But what is possible? And here at this place is some an age tension between many different things. The making of it was a tension. It's the nature of the site. It's not like a place like Tabula Rasa is going to be, or are going to make this kermis space or whatever. But it is something for me. It asks something. It is now hidden in the space. It has its own poetics. Everything's very integrated. But it reflects something like, for me, it is not a space. It reflects the whole society, the whole mentality of keeping things aside and not exploring it or not looking at it in a more open or different perspective. Most of the time the perspectives are fixed. And here that's what I'm and with the ritual of death also, like, yeah, it is opportunity to being alive, to explore, to even as the story. It may happen, it may not, but it is kind of, maybe creating a narrative. Yeah.
So this binds perfectly to the second question. Your project is, I was trying to kind of summarize this 9 months experience with you, and one word comes into my mind is this sort of control. Having control over something or lacking control over something. And I think that I would like you to reflect a little bit about that. Your project is trying to grasp all control, but also having no control over these objects, over this landscape, over this. So it's basically this thin line between design and undesigned, planned and unplanned, which I find it very interesting because all the drawings that you show are very planned, very organized. But then your intentions are completely, I don't want to do this, I don't control, it's not my project, somebody else will do it, I just put sit there. So I just want you to reflect or perhaps end up with this sort of, are you doing what is control? Are you doing control?
I would call it care more than control. It is the sense of that you are care about what are you doing, that you care about the intention, you standing behind your position, and there I think reality takes care of itself.
Whether you have control or not.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
Say maybe one final question from my side, and then there's the audience as well. Still, I would also want to start with complimenting you on this year, and of course later on to do that further. But the way you developed your project and are now able to discuss your project, explain your project, with taking us all on this journey with you through your project. I think it's very valuable, and I think it's really something that you achieved throughout this year, while still presenting a very quite ambiguous project. And that is something that is kind of ambiguity and having a very clear description. It's a bit of what Claudio is on your it's something that I find very valuable in the project and as a lesson, let's say, for myself. One thing that's so what I would like to go back to maybe to this starting point of your project. A year ago, let's say, we were in the yellow building. You remember having these drawings on the table? There was a very ambiguous start and a very ambiguous project that was you. And we had confidence that you would take us somewhere in that year. That's where the project would lead to, we didn't really get, I think, or most of us didn't get. Claudio is shaking there as well. But we have trust in you. And so I'm questioning now, like, having done this whole project, I see that the project now, it's a starting point, like the others were saying as well. How would you start the next project? Being in the yellow building a year ago, starting a new project, with what would you start? What would you put on the table? Having learned this to bring us to this starting point.
I think I will bring the same sketches. I had it still in this book, sketches. I had a couple of sketches and a collage, I think. But I will have a different story to tell. And that is for me what the most valuable thing, that you are more conscious about taking the listener to some point, to where is my destination. For me, it was most of the time like I think that the other, when I show some sketch, it's clear, but Yeah, that's what I will start with. To think more, I think this, making a sketch doesn't take that much. For me, it's still everything the same from the beginning. I saw this in the sketch, so the sketch itself, it can be made, but give it more time to the story, the words that I will communicate the sketch.
Thanks. I'll leave it with that. Others.
Said,
Yeah.
we've made it. We've deliberated. We've discussed. And we've discussed more. You are graduating with. Let me start. I will not say the grade directly because I think, and we also had a discussion about this. Grade is not that important. What the last question was: is Said exceptional or not? Right? Was one and your project then. That's what we're here for, to discuss your project. And I think what all of us have experienced is that it's definitely an exceptional project. It's an exceptional process that you've gone in. You've developed a lot also at the end of your project. As an architect, as an artist maybe as well. Philosophy was also entered in your project, but we didn't see so much, but it's intrinsic or like almost invisible in your project. It's there. So I think we all appreciate your project, and it's graded with a 9.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and that is an exceptional grade as well. But what we really appreciate is that you, and that was also one of the last remarks, that you were able in this project to set another, or to challenge architecture as something that is finished on the one hand, still proposing a project that is somehow finished, but leaving behind its kind of ballast or its weight from the past. And that is something that it's actually a quite light-hearted project, maybe in that sense.
Thank you.
Although it's quite heavy.
Yeah, thanks.
That's it. Then.
Fantastisch.
Yeah, so Said, from now on you can call yourself an architect. You can describe. You can sign in the Dutch register as well. I think I would like to give Claudio the word still as a mentor, if you want, Claudio.
Yeah, no. As I said before, it was a beautiful process. It was. I don't even know how to say it. It was really an honor for me to guide you and to see this process grow, and everybody here in the commission wish you the best as an architect, and wish also the project the best. Please continue, don't stop, because we see so much potential and so much opportunity to challenge so many things in architecture that are a taboo, and so many things that we are 100% sure you are able to do that, to do these things. You have all the possibilities to do it. So please continue, don't stop, and make more of these models because they're very beautiful. And enjoy.
Thank you.